The British royal family is a collection of mentally ill people. This impression may arise from various statements by Prince Harry, who lives in the United States. The most recent example was his interview, which was reported to the British by the Times. In this interview, Harry stated that all members of the royal family should undergo therapy. London newspapers made headlines in this regard. Prince Harry hints that all his relatives need therapy. Earlier, the rebellious prince made no less striking statements. In particular, lenta.ru, http://lenta.ru/, reported on Harry's words, that the royal palace is an incredibly toxic environment, and his relatives have never stood up for him and Meghan Markle in front of tabloid newspapers. It is pertinent to recall, though, that many in the royal palace seem to consider the prince's own wife to be very toxic. Meghan began to be reproached for setting Harry against the family. Meanwhile, Harry was making more and more generalizations and comparisons, quite offensive to Buckingham Palace. In particular, in a podcast interview with Hollywood actor Dax Shepard, he explained in extreme terms why he hated life at the palace. Harry no more or less than compared that life to a zoo. Especially among the members of the royal family, the rebellious prince in his outbursts singled out Camilla, wife of his father, King Charles III. Harry's book of reminiscences contains several dozen remarks about Camilla, more or less hostile. And that includes the prince calling his father's second wife an evil stepmother. Such harsh comments to a variety of people are literally strewn with numerous statements by Prince Harry in which he, as British newspapers put it, undresses himself and undresses other members of the royal family. These scandals are well monetized and bring in a lot of money, but they also deal a serious blow to the prince's image. Journalists say they see a pretty unsightly and sordid situation. The prince is always caught saying he is disgusted by newspapers' desire to dig into his personal life, and then he publicly launches into scandalous revelations about himself. And now the prince has again literally rubbed his nose in the dirt. Newspapers quoted one of Prince Harry's interviews in which he denounced the constant desire to find out every little thing that happens behind the scenes. It shouldn't be that way. Private life should be private, and I hope people will respect that. Except that the prince himself clearly doesn't respect that principle. The Crown's quoted royal family researcher and biographer Angela Levine as saying, "Here's how she responded to the prince's comments about not going public with details of his private life. A lot of people might be surprised to hear that. After what they read in the prince's memoir, how he peed his pants at his first meeting with Meghan." The Crown's portal, which reported Angela Levine's remarks, explains that the writer was referring to an episode in Harry's book, The Spare One, in which he said he was on his way to Meghan's house from a boat race where he couldn't go to the bathroom. As a result, he couldn't hold back much longer and peed himself right in his pants. It can be embarrassing to talk about such things. But the book sells well, and Heine's phrase comes to mind, "Money is money." It's nice to have something to pay for an apartment, a restaurant, etc. There's a cliched saying, it's not money that makes you happy, but you buy for it the freedom to live the kind of life you like. And it seems that Prince Harry's wife was especially interested in all these purchases, and it was she who pushed him to make more money from scandalous publications. At least on the website of the Australian service of Sky News there are now scandalous allegations that it was Meghan who forced Harry to go to the publication of the book, Spare.